Today I had a kind of like a realization. There's been so much focus in the seduction community about getting her number. If you didn't get her number, maybe you should have got her number. But I realized that the focus should have been more on not just getting her number. It should have been focused more on was I did I bring the best version of myself to the girl, and did I genuinely try to get to know her? Because I feel like that's usually the stuff that guys screwed up on, is that they focus on the little techniques to try to take something from the girl. And in this case, it could either be a date, a number, an instant date, whatever it is. If you're focusing on that, even if you do get those things, it doesn't necessarily mean that you and the girl will get together in the end, or end up in a intimate relationship. Because when you're focusing on those things, you come across as unreal, like you're putting on a persona to try to get those things. So anyway, today I realized the only way to kind of get rid of this I need to get her um, number mindset is either don't get any numbers at all and only go for girls when you genuinely have a great time and you want to see her again. But I also realized that during the day, sometimes that may not be possible, and you might have a it may not be possible for you to have a great connection. What that means is, if there's enough time, you and a girl might just hit it off. However, I know this because there were definitely, like in the past, I definitely had experiences where I only talked to the girl for like a couple of minutes, and in that short time, we only joked around. We didn't really know each other that much. And I remember this girl specifically because we had such an amazing time after that. She's actually one of the most important girl in my life, simply because how much she has changed and influenced where I am right now. And we went through a lot. Because I remember at that time, when I first met her, I was walking her tests, towards her test area, test exam room. And at that time, I thought, okay, this conversation was okay. I might not get her number. Actually, during that week, I challenged myself to not take any number that week. But funnily enough, I just like, you know what? Fuck it. I asked her, do you want to get coffee sometime? And she was like, okay. And a week later, we hooked up. And a few months later, we pretty much become best friends. And best buddies while having sex and all that. And I ended up going to Singapore just to visit this girl, even though things didn't really work out well. I wouldn't say things didn't work out well. I would say things worked out pretty well. There were a lot of emotional drama throughout the whole thing, and I realized that, you know, either you could not grab any number or you could grab every girl's number. It doesn't matter what happened. Just ask if she wants to hang out again, even though you might not feel the chemistry in that short 5 minutes. But just ask anyway. But when you're asking, you're not coming from the frame of desperation. You're coming from the frame of, let's give each other more time to get to know each other and see if we have great chemistry. That's the frame you're coming from. You're not coming from the frame of, please give me your number so we could, just to make myself feel good, you're coming from the frame of, all right, I know we don't have that much time. You need to go your way, I need to go my way, but let's see each other again another time and see what the chemistry is like. That's why game is so important, because you need to be able to bring the best version of yourself in that short time frame. And that's not easy to do, especially you need to be very self-aware of how you feel, also be aware of how the girl feels. Sometimes the girl might not be in the mood to talk to you, and you have to break through that and give her like sheer energy. I read this great post by RSD Tyler on his Instagram. I recommend you to check out his Instagram account. It's called RSD Tyler. It has a lot of he gives out a lot of very useful educational videos, like short 60 seconds video now. Yeah, Instagram has 60 seconds video now. And underneath he'll post an article about, like today I read about being yourself. Like that's the essential message of that article, is being yourself, but it goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than, just bring the best version of yourself. Being authentic. And sure, some people might resonate with that, and some people might not, and it's fine. The thing is, when you try to please everyone, everyone's gonna be like, he's okay, but Whereas if you bring your authentic self, some people is going to love it, because love you for being you. Whereas some people might be like, this is not my thing, or this is not my type, and that's perfectly okay too. And the next level is be able to lead those good connections to another level, and not just let things die out. Because that's what most guys do. Whenever they seem to have a good interaction with a girl, they just cannot believe it. And once they got that good reaction, they feel the need to bounce, to exit the interaction for really no particular reason at all, except being validated by the girl's good reaction. And that's a kind of like a sticking point for newbies and intermediates. And I definitely had this today, actually. There was this girl who was walking in front of me, and I stopped her, and I was like, it was my first interaction of the day, so I was a bit, but, I've been doing this every day for the past few months. So even though I was feeling a bit, I could still kind of get present and get into my body and kind of just flow. And anyway, so initially I was like, this is all random, but she didn't hear me, so I just switched to, can I just say something really random? I used to think that, like a question, when you ask a question as your opener, it's very chody, but now I realize everything is, in a way you deliver it, it's all about your sub-communication. You could deliver like, hey, can I just say something very random? Or you could go like, hey, can I just say something very random? You see the vibe there? It's very different. The first one is more calm, and it sounds like you have something interesting to say. Whereas the second one, you desperately want the other person to hear it. And that's not the vibe you want. It comes across as desperate and needy. And this also reminds me of another thing Tyler was talking about on his Instagram. That is, most guys place so much value on a person they barely know. Like, they desperately want to meet the other person that they don't even really know that well. So what he was saying was, don't be easily impressed by the girl or by any strangers. In fact, don't be easily impressed. Get to know them first. And it's hard to do because, it's hard to do because most of us are behaving in a very subconscious way, and it takes a while to be aware of what you're doing, how you're doing it, and all that. And sometimes you get a little butthurt, and I want to talk about getting numbers again, because sometimes you get a little butthurt when you're getting numbers but they don't reply or they don't come out to meet you, and that's okay too. You might have a great interaction and the girl still won't come out to meet you simply because she has her own life too, Not everyone. That's why you always move fast. You always go for the instant dates, or you just go for, or you try to or you try to bring your best version out and try to connect with her if the chemistry is right. Now I really think I should just don't focus on getting numbers, but focus on bring the best version of myself in the initial interaction, because that's what's the most important. I mean, you could have a blast with a girl, but it could go nowhere, or you could miss out on an amazing adventure simply because there was not enough time for you to have a great time in those first 5 minutes of the interaction. I think that's a mistake sometimes I make. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure most guys don't make the not getting number mistake. But when you've been just trying to, it's good. Like that exercise of not getting numbers is good because it trains you to focus on what's important. And what's important is that sharing value, sharing energy, and having a good time. And not worry about, should I get numbers? That comes as an afterthought. Yeah, getting numbers should be an afterthought to the interaction. It should be like, oh wow, this is great. I love you. Let's hang out another time. But sometimes you just won't have time to do that. And getting number, you can just grab for a number, If she doesn't want to come out, it's fine. If she doesn't want to give you her number, it's fine too. I met plenty of girls who came out when I only talked to them for 3-4 minutes, and sometimes when I talk to a girl for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and when I ask them out, they're like, okay, but then they never actually come out again, and that's fine too because the chemistry is just not there. And as you get more advanced, you realize that you wanna treasure your time better. You wanna go on dates with girls that you actually wanna see, and that's also another reason sometimes I don't go for numbers, but I realize that could be a big mistake sometimes. And sometimes I do judge girls based on looks, and I should eliminate that as well. Even if I have a chemistry with a girl that's so great, I'm still gonna grab her number. Nope, we can just be friends, and that's cool too. So that's my new kind of goal for from now on. Really, is just to still focus on building connections, having fun, but just grab for the number anyway because, well, life is short. You don't want to miss out on any connection, and you don't want the girl to miss out. So you're coming from the frame of, this has been great. Let's continue doing this. That's the frame you want to come from. This has been great. Let's do this another time. This has been great. You're coming from the frame of that. And you don't really have to say that. You can just say, hey, it's been nice talking to you. Let's grab coffee another time. And that will work too. Anyway, I'm realizing these videos are getting longer and longer. I don't know why, I'm just talking and talking, and wow, a lot of thoughts just keep coming out. And I want to talk about tips for successful days. I know it's a human thing to think that event A will causes event B, and event B will result in consequence C. So this A becomes B becomes C. That causal relationship is what our mind perceives. But what's wrong with that is the universe works in mysterious ways. What that means is event A doesn't like, let's say something happens today, but the result, the consequence, probably won't happen until next year, or the year after, or 5 years later, or even 10 years down the line. And that's what you have to be aware of when you're fucking up. Let's say if you're fucking up today, don't just think about what you did today. Think about what you did yesterday, the day before, last week, last month, last year, or even 10 years ago. Like, what happened? What's the change of belief that got you where you are today? Because big fuck-ups always result from little mistakes you're doing every day. I think there's this quote from Jim Rohn. I can't remember how it goes, but it goes something like, success is based on like little disciplines you do every day, and failures is based on determined by the little mistakes you make every day. So if you imagine a ship is going off course by 1 degree in 3 years, it's gonna be a lot different than what it would have been if it had stayed on course. So that's the message I want to leave you on today. You might think, okay, I'll just skip going to the gym today, but that's gonna have a big influence on you, not just in a week or in a month. It's gonna influence on where you're gonna be in 10 years. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. As always, I enjoy making these videos. Thanks for watching.